Aristotle had a very interesting quote.
Shaq?
No, Aristotle.
No, I know.
The original Aristotle.
Right.
He said, criticism is something we can avoid easily by saying nothing, doing nothing, and being nothing.
Do you agree with that?
100%. 100%. If you decide to put yourself out there and put your work out there, you are asking to be criticized, hated, ridiculed, threatened, whatever else comes with it. This is just the reality of it. I get it. I get it.
Theoretically, yes.
Yeah.
But egotistically, no one wants to be hated.
No.
No one wants to not be liked.
But it doesn't. But number one, not everyone will hate you, and not everyone will love you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I have people like if I were to judge my career based on online comments, I would think I'm a failure.
Listen,
You know
I've read where people say Dave Chapelle stinks. Patrice O'Neal ain't funny.
Yeah.
And once upon a time ago, there were people out there that said Ali wasn't the greatest.
Right.
There are people today who still maintain that position.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan ain't the shit. Michael Jackson wasn't the shit. So, that shows you right there. We obviously all can't be loved. And no matter how great you are, there are going to be people that go, we don't see it. But, we know the balance. We know what it is. For every one of those, there's a million that get it.
Right, because number one, the numbers don't lie when it comes to what I do.
Right.
And when I go out to an event or whatever, the amount of love that I get, the amount of people that want to take pictures with me or just tell me how much they love certain interviews, it's like, okay, like this is the real shit. Like the online shit is sort of its own world. You know what I mean?
It's always funny because I think that people, when they call them keyboard warriors, when you're in seclusion and nobody's watching you and nobody got a chance to touch you,
right.
Motherfuckers are so bold. But when people, it takes balls and a little bit of stupidity to actually meet someone that you go, I know who that is, and then insult them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like, that's like, I know the difference. Like when people come up to me after shows and go, man, if I'm performing in Chicago, dude, I drove all the way from New York to see you. No, you didn't. You just happened to be here. You came to see your family or your friends, and I just happened to be here when you were here, and you said, fuck, that's my man. Let me go see him. I'm a fan. But I know the difference between legitimacy and bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying you're not a fan, but you didn't drive all the way from New York City to Chicago to come see me.
Right, because I'll play in New York City eventually.
Come on, man. Come on, man. But you can tell, because I'm telling you, man, sometimes when you see people, you can feel it when you've gotten it long enough in terms of the love you get, how real it is, and whether it's just, you just want to be involved in the moment. You want to go, I saw you in person. Let me slap hands with you. Let me converse with you. But there are celebrities who I've met that, I see certain dudes and I go, that's so-and-so. But that's as far as I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Rondell Sheridan, I see Rondell Sheridan and I go, it's Rondell Sheridan. But my passion for Rondell Sheridan ain't going to be what it is when I met Brad Pitt. And I'm a fan of Seven. And I saw Brad and I had to let him know, hey, man, you that motherfucker.
Right. Fight Club.
So you can tell when people come up to you and they shake your hand and talk to you, you go, okay, they're a fan, but they just want to be in the moment. Versus this motherfucker's a fan.
Right.
It's a look, it's a vibe, it's a feel. So,
So I interviewed Lavelle Crawford.
Yeah.
Earlier this year.
Yeah, I think I saw some of that.
Mm-hmm. And he said something interesting. Explain.
It's proven fact. Think about it.
Okay.
You know me as a comedian, okay? America semi know me as a stand-up comedian. I got a lot of fans, but as the comedian, look, Louis C.K., I'm gonna just do it like this. Jim Gaffigan, who else out there? Even Dave Attell. I mean, I'm just giving out random names. These comedians, like Marie Bamford, they can come through the ranks and be known as stand-up and be respected as stand-up. Where like me, I've been doing it 20-something out of years, and now I'm newer to the mainstream audience. Even though I did Last Comic Standing, people know me for that, but they don't have to know me. But like, look at like the comics that make it one at a time. Kevin Hart, they think he's the only comedian in the world right now, for real. Cause I mean, he's not. Even if he helps out, Kevin Hart, he's the greatest. No, he's not. He's good. I love Kev.
I think that was once upon a time ago, before the explosion of Def Jam.
Def Comedy Jam.
Def Comedy Jam. Yeah.
But
I mean, 60s was kind of like Red Fox. 70s was Pryor. Eddie was 80s. Chris was 90s, but that's when Def Comedy Jam came, and boom. Once upon a time ago. I don't know that that's as true now.
You don't think Kevin Hart is essentially getting all the roles right now?
Well, this is a business, and he's the cash cow. He's where the money is. I think if other guys were given the opportunity to show that they could potentially or do what Kevin does, that's where there may be the problem. Other guys aren't given the opportunity. But certainly Kevin has proven his weight in terms of what he brings to the table. And again, this is one of those where I've been accused of hating on Kevin.
Right.
And I've said it every chance I've gotten. Kevin is a heavyweight in the stand-up game. Kevin is a monster. He's got talent out the ass, and he's funny, and he has screen presence, and it works. That's why it's funny, again, when you read the comment section. I read so many things on Twitter and YouTube where people go, they shit on Kevin. Oh, he just plays the fact that he's a small dude, like he's short, and blah, blah, and Kevin sucks, and blah, Kevin sucks. For every one of them motherfuckers, look at the box office receipts.
Right.
So them opinions ain't as valid as the ones who love him. Kevin's a monster. I've never hated on Kevin in terms of his talent or his position. The only thing I ever questioned was the writing. You know what I mean? Because again, I liken what we do to some degree to sports. It's like every comic's intention is to have a joke out the park. We hit the ball out the park. We all want to do an hour set where everything is out the park. But the reality is it's hard to maintain that kind of quality for a whole hour 20 minutes. So there are some jokes, it's like, like molding clay. You got this big block of clay, and your job as the artist / sculptor is to get this thing to where there's the masterpiece. And sometimes with jokes, you could be there. You could be on the cusp of a genius bit, but something's missing. Something's missing. It's like a gumbo recipe. Everything is good, but something's missing.
Right.
And if it's that in comedy, that facial look, that physical move, that one saying, it's that one ingredient that can take your bit from here to out the park. Now, as good as the bit may or may not be, if someone goes, say this, do this, give this look, now your bit goes from here to genius. That's you? You did that? You did that. You or somebody give you the steroid, take this pill, take this shot. You're still a great athlete. Your numbers are still solid, but when you had that new contract year, that we gonna max pay this motherfucker because of the stats, was that you? Does that make me a hater for saying that? Am I wrong for saying that?
Well, a lot of great comedians have had writers.
Oh, yeah.
Richard Pryor.
Paul Mooney, he worked closely with Paul
Mooney, right.
But I think Paul was more responsible for the Richard Pryor show, his sketch comedy show.
Oh, not a stand-up?
I don't know that I don't know how intricate he was in the stand-up of it.
Did Eddie do all his own stuff?
I think in Delirious he did. I think in Raw, I think in the credits it had Robert Townsend and Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Well, they I think produced think Keenan Ivory Wayans produced like the intro
Right.
or something.
See, again, I don't know how
yeah,
intricate
yeah,
they were
yeah,
in the
exactly.
writing of the material.